Well, the Elvis resurgence continues, and this is a particularly bizarre project, partially because it was co-created by his widow, Priscilla. Let's talk about Agent Elvis. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the Netflix animated adult show, Agent Elvis. This is a part of, like I said, sort of this Elvis resurgence that I guess maybe Baz Luhrmann kind of started with his movie last year. But this project is particularly questionable. There's so much I don't understand about it, but let's launch into that here in a second. First, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We've got a ton of great movie and TV reviews on the channel. I try to post something new just about every day for you, so please consider subscribing down below, and think about clicking that notification bell too, so you can get all the alerts of when I drop new videos, or just like this video down below there, comment on it. All that stuff does help the channel out. All right, so I mentioned this was co-created by his widow, Priscilla Presley, and also John Eddy created as well. Not really familiar with him. But the reason this is sort of so bizarre is, okay, so this is an adult animated version in the style of Archer. Like, it looks very kind of Archer in its animation, but it's got that sort of really, really, like, very R-rated language quality and, you know, sexual language quality of a lot of the Netflix adult animated series. And the reason it's just so questionable is it's not that it makes Elvis look bad particularly. In fact, you know, it makes him look like this big, beefy, macho, you know, kick-ass kind of dude. And so I guess, okay, maybe that's flattering for Priscilla to think about, because in his later years, he was sort of always being made fun of as Fat Elvis and whatever. I remember that, you know, growing up. But there's so much like language and drugs and violence. It surprises me that Priscilla would want Elvis to be associated with this. But for whatever reason, here we are. So let's talk about the show itself. Matthew McConaughey voices Elvis, and not particularly well either, I don't think. You know, there's been a lot of great movie and TV Elvises over the years. This is just Matthew McConaughey doing his thing. You know, and we've seen him do voice work where he changes his voice at least a little bit, or the pentameter, like in the movies of Sing, for example. But here he's just basically doing Matthew McConaughey, but saying Elvis-like things. You know, it was a bizarre casting choice that I don't think I can get behind. However, some of the other ones, you know, I can get with. Caitlin Olsen is in this from Always Sunny, Johnny Knoxville from Jackass, Niecy Nash from Reno 911, and many other things. Don Cheadle, Tom Kenny from SpongeBob. So, you know, there's people in here that I think do a good job. The whole thing is just very bizarre. There's an ongoing feud with the Robert Goulet, you know, crooner. If you're familiar with him, I kind of only barely am, because he guest starred on The Simpsons one time in like the very early 90s, and Will Ferrell portrayed him and didn't break character on an episode of Conan one night. He came out as Robert Goulet and just never stopped, you know, in that zone. So that's really the only reason I know him. And I'm in my 40s, so anybody younger watching this has no idea who Robert Goulet is. So that's also a little bit of an interesting choice. But one thing, because it's got the Priscilla stamp on it, is they can use some of the Elvis music. So that, I think, probably might elevate it for some people. For me, it didn't really make any kind of a difference. Here's what's frustrating about this. It's actually kind of funny. I definitely did laugh a few times. Caitlin Olsen particularly, now, she's always funny. And, you know, not to slag kind of on Matthew McConaughey and not say the same thing about her. She's basically just doing Caitlin Olsen. She's doing her Sweet D from Always Sunny. You know, she's not really changing her voice at all. But it's a sort of made-up character. You know, she plays like an agent. You know, whereas Elvis is not made up. We know him. We know what he sounds like. You know, and Matthew McConaughey, for me, it's not Matthew McConaughey. But so I'm like really torn on this. This is going to be a slightly negative grade for me, but not a huge negative grade because it is funny. It has this sort of bizarre charm. And I think, look, I liked the Elvis movie that Baz Luhrmann did. I think I liked it more than many. Although maybe not, it got nominated for Best Picture. But most of the people in my life that have seen it did not particularly care for it. But I'm down with the Elvis resurgence. You know, I've always sort of been fascinated by his, not necessarily his appeal, because I do get it, but just, you know, he was sort of the first rock and roll mega superstar, you know, and so I've always been sort of fascinated by him. But this whole, like, you know, Agent Elvis thing, it takes us on a whole nother journey with this man that we know and whatever. And I guess, I don't know how true this is, but I sort of read that this is kind of based on a dream that he had, that he, like, wanted to be a secret agent kind of thing. Okay, who does it? You know, you watch James Bond, you watch Mission Impossible. It's like, oh, wow, that's really cool. I want to do that. So I get it. But this is certainly, you know, like a reimagining of who Elvis was and how jacked up he was. You know, he's like, takes his shirt off and he's super jacked up. I don't know. This is a bizarre show. I don't hate it. I got some laughs. I just don't quite understand it. I don't quite get why Priscilla wants to be attached to this or whatever. So anyway, I leave Agent Elvis with a C-. It is on Netflix now if you'd like to stream all of the episodes. I think there's maybe 10 episodes total. And it's a quick watch. They're like 23-minute episodes each or whatever, 24 minutes. So it's as if, you know, or a half-hour sitcom on Fox or something with the commercials. Sure, you get about 23 minutes. So that's these episodes, and that's fine. They don't need to be any longer than they are. You know, after a little bit, the plots kind of all blend together anyway. So anyway, if you want to check it out, go for it. It is on Netflix right now, Agent Elvis. All right, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.